What's up guys, it's Fire here, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Now I'm actually going to be teaching you how to improve yourself as a player through watching streams. Most of you will know that World Finals actually kick off later today with Group A starting to play. It's going to be people like TSM, SK Telecom T1, so it should be some really exciting games. And this is a perfect opportunity for you to improve yourself as a player while you're watching these streams. So there are two real types of streamers, and that's going to be individual players like Voyboy or Skara, and then the spectator streams, things like tournaments at the LCS and also the GDLA tournaments that are going on at the moment. Now there are different things that you can learn from each type of stream, but I'm going to focus mainly on the team games, so the LCS, because obviously this video is mainly for the World Finals. Now just to cover player streams very quickly, it's really good for things like champion mechanics or tips and tricks with that champion or specific lane, because the camera is always focused on them. That individual is playing that champion, and so they have to have that camera there, they have to play the lane right, and they'll often commentate as well, so you can pick up a lot of different things for that lane. Now with the LCS setup, obviously you don't look at the same lane for the entire game, you're looking around the map, you're seeing the map control and you're seeing the different lanes. You can still pick up a couple of champion tips and tricks obviously when they're fighting and the camera is centered on them, but you don't really get the same kind of feel or lane pressure that you would learn from a player's stream. So the main thing you're going to improve on from the LCS stream is actually going to be your knowledge. Now knowledge is a very broad subject, and I'm going to break it down pretty much into team fighting, engagements and map control. These three areas are the most easily noticeable on streams from team coordination, and it's also the three areas that are going to allow you to carry solo queue even more. To make this easy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a situation from an LCS game. For each three of these categories, I'm going to break it down and tell you how you can analyze these situations while you're watching them, and then how you can take that into your solo queue games and actually apply these mechanics. Now one important thing to note with all of these clips is that everything a pro player does is for a reason. If they use their ultimate, there's definitely going to be a reason behind that, and so what that allows you to do is to say, why did they use that ultimate? You can then figure out the answer to that question and then use that and take it into solo queue. So in this clip it's going to be a TSM versus Cloud9 game. It's going to be about the time when they're going to fight for Dragon. You're going to see the pick onto Thresh. That's going to be from a sneaky Ashe arrow. Now it's not always the best idea to arrow the support, but in this case they just want to turn the fight into a 4v5 so they can take Dragon. Now I'm going to pause it right here because this is when TSM decides to fight 4v5, and there's definitely going to be a reason why they did that, so I'm just going to explain what their reasoning was. Now the first thing to note is that Elimination has no mana. He has mana for a grasping root or his ultimate, but he doesn't have mana for anything else. This means that while the Zyra ult wasn't used to kill Thresh, it's pretty much just going to be null and void during this fight because he's not going to be able to use it. Now the other thing to note as well is that Meteos is half health from tanking the Dragon, but TSM get baited a little bit here because they don't consider it as passive. So those two reasons are going to be why TSM engaged, and even though it seems like TSM lost this fight, they actually went 4 for 4 and they stopped the Dragon, so it was well worth it and a good call by TSM. So that really covers the engagement part of what I was talking about, how you can learn from streams. You see that Sneaky already started that whole thing off by arrowing onto Thresh and collapsing onto him. In solo queue, if you do that and you open up the Dragon, that's going to snowball an advantage for you, and most solo queue teams will not fight 4v5, so they'll give you that for free. Now I did say that team fighting was one of the categories that you can learn from, but the only way you're going to do that, because it's so hectic, is if you focus on one champion. And this is really good for learning how that champion works in a team fight. So obviously these players are mechanically fantastic, so they're going to play the team fight pretty much perfectly and give you a really good thing to aim for. So you see at the start of the fight, Balls, it absolutely explodes Elise, and this pretty much turns a 4v5 into a 3v5 because he killed him so fast. The next priority target for him is going to be the closest thing because Ryze is very short range. That's going to be Darius on Renekton. Now as soon as Darius actually turns onto Balls, he's pretty squishy at this point, so you see what he does, he backs out and waits for his cooldowns. When his cooldowns are up, he turns around and uses a QW combo and then he runs away. He flashes away from Darius to wait for his cooldowns again and then come back in to mop that kill up. He then cleans up the rest of the fight, so he picks up a double kill and an ace for his team. Now what you can actually learn from this Ryze play is that with your cooldowns you're pretty weak. If you weren't sure how to team fight with Ryze, then this is an excellent example of how you actually manage his cooldowns and put out as much damage possible while staying as safe as possible. So even though I've already highlighted engagements, I really want to show this clip again because it's about a minute later in this game after that previous fight I showed you. But Cloud9 forced the Dragon here, and it's a really good decision by them. Now the reason they make this decision is because TSM's ultimates are all on cooldown and they know that. Orianna ult, Renekton ult and Twitch ult are all on cooldown. They're going to be a massive amount of their damage in team fights, so they can't really fight Cloud9 for this Dragon. Now the other thing to note, and you'll see this after, that Sneaky actually catches Thresh again with another arrow. Now Ashe used his ultimate at the very start of the last fight, which meant it's actually off cooldown by the time they finish the Dragon, and they could catch Thresh again and pick up another kill. This is just great awareness of cooldowns by Cloud9, and in your solo queue games you can just force objectives when you know the ultimate's on cooldown. It really reduces their team fight potential, and you can often turn even 4v5 fights around. So just to summarise then, the real question you should be asking yourself throughout Worlds is why? why they're doing exactly what they're doing, why they're taking that objective, why they're forcing that fight and engaging, and why is that specific player on that specific champion doing what he's doing during team fights. Now when you find these answers for yourselves, you can start to do these things in solo queue and you can really take your play to the next level. Now for the first time ever, what I'm going to do is if you find something in the World Finals and you ask yourself why, but you're not sure why they actually do that, then you can message me on YouTube and I guarantee I will answer every one of you. And normally I don't do this because I will get a lot of messages and it's just impossible for me to answer all of them, but I really want you guys to improve yourselves as players through these World Finals. So if you do find something during Worlds and you're not sure why they did it, then please message me and I will tell you why they've done what they've done. Now on a final note, I'm just going to give you my predictions for Worlds as well, because a lot of people have asked me this and I've answered it quite a few times. So I personally think that SK Telecom T1 are probably going to win the whole thing, because individually they're all incredible mechanical players and that's really what you need with coordination to win. But the really exciting thing for me in Worlds is that actually any team has the possibility of winning. All of these teams are the best teams in the world, they're really good players, they're really good coordination, and they've all been training for this as well, so anyone can throw out crazy stuff and anyone can pull out an outplay that's going to really shock the world. So with that all said, I really want to thank you guys for watching. This is a little bit different, so please let me know if you like this in the comments. I'll do more of these kind of self-improvement videos. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Go like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and as always, I will catch you next time.